some rocks. Well, no, they're not rocks. They're bedrock. They are a shoreline. Didn't take long to paint them. It took a little bit longer to, what, groom them? Fix them up? They have a little more to go. It's fine. It's not a concern, really. Oh, excuse me. And I thought, well, why not jump into the water? You know, I really had planned to put something countering this mass here in the foreground. I don't know that I will. I think I'm just going to go through the water. If I make the water interesting enough, it'll be sort of an interesting composition anyways. It'll be Spartan. And that's fine, you know, quite simple. Kind of a fun break from the last torturous thing that I was doing there. But why not? Why not? The last painting, I just got a little too hung up on details, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not something I personally enjoy. I'll just put it that way. Real noisy day here today. It's going to be for the next while yet. You know, the corn harvest is going on, and there are hundreds of acres of corn around me. I'm doing a bunch of vertical strokes, trying to keep a fairly reasonable straight line across here. As I come to the foreground, I'm going to vary the strokes, the direction of the strokes a little bit. I don't want to compete with the sky, but I do want to make sure that I provide enough interest in the foreground. Well, the forewater. I want to keep it alive. If I'm going to have all this space that's occupied only by water, that water better be interesting. Sky colors. Well, watercolors, they're the same as the sky. Really. Sort of a reflection of the sky, not in shape, but in color. Oh yeah, the rocks are, the palette for the rocks is ultramarine blue, raw umber. Bits of yellow ochre and bits of raw burnt sienna here and there. And obviously titanium white, as always. Something a little more interesting there. No, it's too early for those. Too early for those horizontal strokes. Right now, I'm going to focus on putting in short vertical ones. My slashes will come mostly towards the end of the painting, and we're not there yet, so I shouldn't get impatient. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm not. I'm not sure. Too red. Too red. It's so too red, it's almost 3 red. And I'm being too fussy. I'm worrying too much about little specific things. Let's not do that just yet. Okay, this light, I would bring this light right down here if I were exactly echoing the light in the sky. I am moving it to the left, okay? I might even put a little more highlights right here in the sky. Actually, the sky is not quite finished. It's very close, but not quite. I'd like to have where the light comes down into this lower area. I'd like it to be not dead center, but very close to center. Am I recording? I always have to check because I do tend to forget whether I hit that record button or not. Right now I'm playing with, well, obviously, yellow ochre and alizarin crimson. And I'm going to add some raw umber to it because I do want to kill the color a little bit. I'm getting a little bit carried away with my strength here. Let's jump back to our cobalt blue. Okay, another variation of the blues in the foreground. Only cobalt blue in the sky. I've used only cobalt blue so far in the water. I am going to bring in some ultramarine blue because by the time we get down here, we're going to be looking at some darker colors. And I don't want pure ultramarine blue. I would just like it to be a little bit different, a little variety, you know. Okay, that's not bad. At least they're both blue. That's a bit dirty. How about some ultramarine blue and a little bit of burnt sienna? That edges the ultramarine blue in the direction of, I can never remember the name of that blue. Maybe I'll think of it in a minute here. Boy, I have always had issues with remembering certain names of certain, well, you know, just certain words. Can't quite get that word on the end of my tongue. Okay. Don't worry about it. It's not important. Blue. We'll add a little more alizarin crimson to that. Anyway, again, you can see where I'm going with this. I'm having fun. It's I'm going fairly quickly on this stuff right now. The rocks I did earlier today, honestly, getting the rocks in place took probably only about 15 minutes once I'd drawn the basic lines in, the division lines, and then it took another probably hour of just being around the painting to make some other decisions, to finish them up. Again, it might be the odd touch, but not much. I'm not going to get too worried about all kinds of little things. It's a knife painting. I want that. I want it to have life. I don't want it to just sort of die on the easel. Become flat and boring. Yeah, that's a lot orange down here. It's very broad. Playing in the mud. I'm just playing in the mud. Sure is fun sometime though. Okay. That's kind of nocturnal. This is a little too electric. It's time for me to sit back on my sitting back chair, on my observation chair, and make a couple of decisions. I've gone too light too quickly here. I don't think I'll erase that just yet. It seems to work okay. Anyway, you can see where it's going. I'll square the camera off so you can get a better view. I'm glad I laid this blue on, and I'm glad I'm taking the extra off, because I'm going to be painting in and over some of those areas. And even though with the knife, now I'm going wet and wet, still prefer not to have too thick a layer on there. Alright. I'm going to drop this. Okay. Sky in danger of becoming very weak. Still needs a few touches here and there though. Those rocks I'm happy with come to the foreground. Now we've got some strength again. But keeping, things within context, that's very strong reflection on water, considering the source of the reflection is this that's a little bit insipid up here. So I'll have to be a little bit careful with that balance. Anyway, there it is for now. See you soon.